Hi everyone, welcome to Film Vets. I'm your host Paul Dixon, and with me as my co-host,
Dan Technical Issues Young.
We have been struggling for like 30 minutes trying to figure things out, but we're here.
If it's not my camera, it's my microphone, and if it's not my microphone, it's my brain. I don't know what's happening anymore.
Great. So
I feel like I should just retire to the front porch with like a cane and just like a rocking chair. Just give in. Just like I'm done.
Just be like Bo at the end of our sketch where you're in a wheelchair. Yeah. Or not Bo, you were what was your character's name? Jesus. Jeb. Hey, it's been a while. We got called out by somebody yesterday, and I want to shout out to him because I'm going to make a change to something we do. Tony reached out to me and said, "You guys haven't released a podcast since September." And I said, "Oh,
this is true. I think it was like September 27th is where we gave up on podcast."
Yeah. So I was like, "Well, we do want to do more podcasts. It's just we do a lot of trailer reviews."
Tony.
Sorry, Tony. I think he's right, though. I want to make podcasts happen. I think the trailer reviews don't really lend to that format very well. But this particular video will be a podcast video. A podcast listen, and not video. But it's exciting because I have been dying to talk about this. This is the new DC James Gunn lineup by him and Peter Safran that was released. We're going to actually watch a video, and what we're going to do is watch it all the way through because I want to get your reactions for each one, and then we're going to go back and dissect each one. Now, there's 10 things that were released. I believe might have been 5 movies and 5 TV shows. We're going to watch that real quick, and then we're going to jump into our thoughts.
And just so everybody knows, I know nothing about what's going on.
Yes,
nothing. I know no information.
He has avoided spoilers, which is amazing, because I post everywhere.
Yeah, I live under a rock. His hair is so white.
I know. Yeah, he's kind of he's gone with the silver fox look, and he's kind of owning it. I commend him for that. He's like, I'm not going to dye my hair. Let it be as it is.
He's kind of like Orville Redenbacher, but he just gave up trying to like dress up.
Yeah, you know what's funny? They had the Harley Quinn show. James Gunn voiced his own character as James Gunn in the show, and they made his hair white in the show. So that was kind of funny.
So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm done derailing this. Let's go.
We're already dissecting the video. It's just his hair. Yeah. All right. Let's do it.
Hey, everybody. I'm James Gunn. I'm the co-CEO of DC Studios. So as many of you know, DC has been disconnected in film and television for a long time. And it's one of, our jobs, mine and Peter's, is to come in and make sure the DCU is connected in film, television, gaming, and animation. That the characters are consistent, played by the same actors, and it works within one story. And if something is outside of that, like Matt Reeves' Batman or Todd Phillips' Joker or Teen Titans Go, that it is clearly labeled as DC Elseworlds, outside of the mainstream DCU continuity. Now, Peter and I have gotten pretty lucky in terms of the 4 projects that are coming out over the next year. First, we have Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Shazam has always been off kind of in his own part of the DCU, so he connects very well. That moves directly into The Flash, a fantastic movie that I really love that resets the entire DC universe. And then to move into Blue Beetle, a fantastic film about a kid who's a marvelous part of the DCU, and then into Aquaman 2, which leads directly into our next few projects, which I'm going to tell you about now. So, Peter and I, along with a group of very talented writers, have started to map out an 8 to 10 year plan of what DC Studios will be in film, television, and gaming. This first chapter is called Gods and Monsters. Now, what I'm about to tell you, is a part of the first chapter. It's not the entire first chapter. The first project is Creature Commandos. Creature Commandos is an animated series. I've written all the episodes. Something we're going to do that's a little bit different at DC is we're going to have characters move into animation, out of animation, usually having the same actor play their voice as who plays them in live action. The next project up is Waller. This is a story of Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis. Viola Davis is going to team up with members of Team Peacemaker, and this is a story that's been created by Crystal Henry, who did Watchmen, and Jeremy Carver, who created the Doom Patrol. It is a fantastic story that's out of this world, and I can't wait for people to see it. Okay, next up is the big one, the true beginning of the DCU. This is called Superman Legacy. This is being written by me. I'm in the middle of it. I'm having a great time doing it. And Superman will be released into theaters July 11th, 2025. Okay, the next thing is a big premiere HBO television series called Lanterns. This is a story of a couple of Green Lanterns, John Stewart and Hal Jordan, and we have a few other Lanterns peppered in there, but this is really a terrestrial-based TV show, which is almost like True Detective with a couple of Green Lanterns who are space cops watching over Precinct Earth. In it, they discover a terrifying mystery that ties into our larger story of the DCU. Next is a big movie called The Authority. The Authority is a passion project of mine. It's based on the marvelous Wildstorm characters we are now bringing into the DCU, and will interact with all of our primary DCU characters. The Authority are a group of superheroes who think the world is broken and they want to fix it by any means necessary. I think it's a very different look at superheroes. We're doing a television series called Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost is the story of Paradise Island, usually known as Themyscira, which is the birthplace of Wonder Woman. It's almost like Game of Thrones with Westeros, but with all of the inhabitants of Paradise Island. The introduction of the DCU's Batman is The Brave and the Bold. The Brave and the Bold is the story of Batman and his actual son, Damian Wayne. This is based on Grant Morrison's great comic book run. Damian Wayne is my favorite Robin. He's a little assassin who Batman tries to get in line, and so this is the story of the two of them and the beginning of sort of the Bat family in the DCU. Next up is a TV series called Booster Gold. Booster Gold is one of comics really popular heroes. He is a fascinating guy. He's a loser from the future who uses future technology to come back to present day and become a superhero so that people will love him. It is basically the superhero story of imposter syndrome on an HBO Max series. One of my favorite comic book series from last year was Tom King's run on Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. And so we're going to turn that into a big science fiction epic film. Now, Superman is a guy who was sent to Earth and raised by loving parents, whereas Supergirl in this story, she is a character who was raised on a chunk of Krypton. She watched everybody around her perish in some terrible way, so she's a much more jaded character. And that brings me to Swamp Thing, the last thing we're going to talk about, a very dark horror story in the origins of the monster who is Swamp Thing. And although it's totally outside of the rest of the DCU, it will still feed into the rest of the stories. Anyway, those are the stories that I can tell you about right now. I've loved the DC characters since I was a child. They're incredibly important to me. I knew that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to do something very different. One of the things that's very important for me in all of these movies and TV series is that the director's vision and the vision of the writers and all of the creators is unique and something special. Storytelling is always king. That's all that matters to us. And I want to be true to those stories. I want to be true to you guys and really give you something different than you've ever seen before. Anyway, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you watching. I hope this was exciting for you because it's really exciting for me. And I can't wait to start to dive into these stories with you guys on this grand adventure. Thank you so much.
All right, so that was the lineup for the DC universe. Any of those that are like really exciting you right now, Dan?
No, I hate them all. Just scrap it.
Scrap the whole thing.
No, I'm kidding. So Booster Gold, do we know if that's going to be a live action? Because that should be a live action.
The only one that's going to be non-live action is the Creature Commandos. That's the only one that's going to be a cartoon.
So I want to talk about that one really quick. Is that Weasel?
Yes, it is. That is the return of Weasel.
That's amazing.
Dude,
he was such a ridiculous character.
That was my favorite part. He's just like, the first thing he does is drown. And they're like, the weasel is down. Like,
they didn't even hit the land, and he's gone.
It was perfect. And of course he lived at the end. But this apparently takes place back in the day because, or it could take place today, but the thing about it that I read was James Gunn said that this will be Rick Flag's dad. If you look at that picture again, I'll pull it up. Yeah, that threw me for a loop. a loop.
Yeah, as soon as the picture started, I was just like,
yeah, I could see on your face like, what the hell am I seeing here?
And it took me a second. I was like looking at all the characters, and then I got to the end and it started to pan. I was just like, wait, go back.
Yeah, we're going to look at it right now. So.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So on the far left is Rick Flag, Sr. And we know Rick Flag Jr. was the one that was in the Suicide Squad. He could totally bring back Joel Kinnaman to play that character, but I don't know if if this will be a modern day thing or an older thing. He looks pretty old there, so they could cast an older guy to play that character. It looks like a creature from the Black Lagoon kind of woman, kind of a negative man next to her. I don't know these characters at all. The only ones I recognize are Weasel and Frankenstein, or the Frankenstein monster and the Bride of Frankenstein monster, which is interesting. And I also am pretty sure that the robot is Robot Joe or something like that. He's like a robot army man. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
They're already in production for this, so it's going to be one of the first things they release as part of this whole, Gods and Monsters Part 1 series that they got. Yeah, doing things a bit different from Marvel. Booster Gold is a time traveler who is kind of a loser in the future, and he thinks he can travel back in time and become famous and popular there. So he's a fun character.
He struggles still. It's weird.
This has the makings of being a very Peacemaker-like TV show where he's able to travel through time and I remember there was a series of Booster Gold. I don't remember the writer. It could have been Dan Jurgens. I'm not sure. But basically what happened was he would travel back in time and he would be considered the greatest hero of all time, but nobody can know about him because he travels through time and does different things to help the DC universe out. Technically, he is the greatest hero ever, but he can't let anyone know.
That's even worse because he wants to. Right,
exactly. So there's a lot of potential there. I've always thought Booster Gold was like a gold mine. There's a pun. What a great character. What a great person for James Gunn to bring to life. I really am excited for that one too. Next, let's talk about Big Daddy of them all.
You're either talking about Superman or Swamp Thing.
Well.
Or Swamp Man. Or Super Thing.
Super Thing? That's a different type of movie, Dan. I don't think we're going to be able to watch that one.
It's James Gunn. It's probably still in the
DCU. PG porn.
Yeah. By the way, if you haven't seen those, you really should just go watch them. They're hilarious.
James Gunn PG porn.
And tasteful. It's weird. It's weirdly tasteful.
Okay, so Superman Legacy will be the name of the film, and they're going to recast Superman to be younger, and this is going to, as he said in the video, kick off officially the DC universe that they have created. So even though there's going to be the TV show Waller and Creature Commandos first, this is like the official, like, okay, we're starting with Superman as our Iron Man sort of thing. So I really think there's a lot of great potential here because not only are we starting fresh with someone new and there's no baggage from Henry Cavill, even though he was a great Superman, I'm okay with moving on. There's a lot of great potential here because we need a Superman who is kind of the antithesis of Boy Scout in a good way, not an annoying way. I think it was Peter Safran, one of the co-creators of the DCU. He said that Superman is a kind man in a world where that's old-fashioned. And I think that that's something that hasn't been explored in a long time since the Christopher Reeve films. I really want to see that on screen. And that's why Superman has endured for so long. And a lot of people are like, oh, Superman's boring, blah, blah, blah. Then why is he still around? Why is he still here today? And so popular, granted not as popular as maybe Batman, but people love Superman. And there's a reason for it. And I think they need to tap into what's special about that. So I'm excited for that. I have no idea who they're going to cast. Agree. I have no idea who they're going to cast for Superman, but I hope they go the route of I've never seen this guy before. like they did with Christopher Reeve or Hugh Jackman for Wolverine. People that are more of probably a stage actor primarily, and they say, okay, this is our Superman. I would prefer that as opposed to, oh, it's Ashton Kutcher. Or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like
pull back a little bit to be surprised. Don't get somebody so established, so well known that they're almost just typecast. You know?
Yeah.
That would be like, okay, we know Chris Evans was Captain America, but then, if you go into pulling like Chris Evans as Superman, it's like, okay, we get it. Chris Evans can act like a nice guy. Like, I'm with you. I want to see somebody relatively unknown. I want to be surprised by their range. I want to start the DC relationship off right.
Absolutely.
I don't want to go back to an ex. That's it.
The thing that a lot of people are confused and kind of really taken aback about this whole thing is that some of the characters are staying while some of the characters are being replaced by other actors. So, for instance, Amanda Waller is Viola Davis again. And it sounds like they're bringing the Peacemaker people over to that as well. So it looks like he's keeping a lot of those people, but people like Henry Cavill are gone. And I don't have a problem with it. I'm sorry. I think it sucks. And even James Gunn is like, it quoted as saying Henry Cavill has been dicked around by the people that ran DC before us. And that's unfortunate. And he says he didn't fire Henry Cavill. He didn't hire Henry Cavill because this is a new Superman.
Right.
Okay, I'm sorry. That's the way it is. And I'm ready to move on because Henry Cavill's not the first person to play Superman. He won't be the last. And the next person will not be the last person to play Superman. There's going to be other Supermen. It's fine. And so I'm open to whoever they cast. I'm really excited. And if you've read All-Star Superman, which they're actually taking a lot of, this image is actually from that story. Grant Morrison's All-Star Superman is one of the best Superman stories ever written, and they are taking from that. And I would love someone like Dave Bautista to play Lex Luthor, because the Lex Luthor in this,
that would be sick.
The Lex Luthor in this is a weightlifting. He's not like a dude bro, but he lifts weights because he's like, I need to be in physical peak condition and show that this is what
that makes sense.
And this is what humans are capable of. I remember there's one scene he's in prison and Clark Kent's next to him. And the way they drew Clark Kent is he's very kind of schlubby and, he's always hunching. And Lex Luthor's like, this is real human muscle, not like the Kryptonian. And that would be perfect for Dave Bautista. I would love to see him play that role. But who knows? We'll see. So
there is one thing.
Yeah.
I just, before we get too far on, and end up moving on from Superman, I do want to kind of throw out there with Henry Cavill that I am glad that they moved on from trying to pull him back in over and over and over as Superman. I thought he was wonderful as Superman, but honestly, where he's moving on now to with Amazon Prime and being able to work with Games Workshop on a Warhammer franchise, yes, that's where he belongs.
I agree.
Let him be what James Gunn is to DC
with Warhammer.
To the Warhammer. Like that dude loves it. I get it. So do I. I can't wait. That's all I wanted to kind of put on that. Like, yeah, it's a little sad, but people should really watch what he's going to be doing later on. Like what's coming down the pipeline from him. And let's get somebody new in for Superman because it's time.
I agree. It is time. This is Swamp Thing.
Yes. That was it. That's what I was hoping for.
Yeah. I have some really cool news about this that I kind of found out before it was released online. I'm really excited about it. I was on Twitter because I was bored out of my mind just looking up DC stuff. And like within seconds of posting it, I saw it. James Mangold, the director of Ford versus Ferrari, Logan, 3:10 to Yuma, the new Indiana Jones movie, he posted a picture of Swamp Thing. Now he's in talks to direct the film. I love Swamp Thing. I love James Mangold.
I like to think that that's his way of like calling dibs. And we're gonna come out with Swamp Thing. He's like, hurry up and post.
That would be
mine shotgun. Seaweed shotgun.
Well, if that's the case, I'll just put myself as Booster Gold online and nobody else.
Oh my God, I was gonna say that when we got to Booster Gold, I was I missed my chance. I know we talked about Booster Gold. There's a lot of content there, but dude, you would be an amazing Booster Gold. Come on.
Thanks,
that would be
man.
so good.
Thank you. I would love to play that character, but
I'd be a good Swamp Thing.
I'm reading. I was recommended to read The Swamp Thing by Alan Moore, the Swamp Thing series by him, and it is fantastic. And apparently, that's where they're pulling from. So,
oh yes,
I think this is going to be incredible. I don't doubt in my mind that it'll be a great film. I wonder if they're going to go really lean into that horror, R-rated horror.
I hope so.
I hope so too.
That they have to almost.
Yeah.
And this one's going to be on HBO, right?
No, this is going to be a film.
Okay, so this is a film. I think. Oh, then it must be the Wonder Woman thing. The Paradise Lost is going to be on HBO.
Yes.
He sprinkled it in, but my brain was melting and trying to catch things, and then it was melting again, and it was just a hot mess of me getting excited. So I missed some things.
Oh, good. So yeah, that's Swamp Thing. I'm excited for it. I don't know where they're going to go for it. Something that sucks though. There was a series that came out. They only had one season, and it was canceled after the first episode came out. And you can't find it because of change of the guards at the time. But it sucks because I heard a lot of great things about it, and a lot of people are telling me I should watch it, but I can't find it anywhere. So hopefully I'll be able to find it one day. But either way, James Mangold's Swamp Thing, hell yes.
That'd
Next,
be amazing.
Yeah. Next, we're going to talk about the one you just brought up.
And then shortly after that, we'll watch your audition tape for Booster Gold. We'll break it down.
So I looked up Paradise Lost, and there was a band called Paradise. There's a band called Paradise Lost. I was like, that's not right. That's not right.
Wonder Woman Paradise Lost.
I just put in DC. That worked. So.
Okay.
That's
sick.
I've never read the storyline. I know nothing about this. And in fact, I don't think it's going to be copying or taking from any Wonder Woman storyline particularly. But, I mean, God, you mentioned Game of Thrones on Themyscira Island? I'm there. That sounds amazing.
That's going to be wicked.
Yeah, I don't know if Gal Gadot is returning. Again, another one of those gray areas. But this takes place before she was born, I think. So it's not really going to matter.
And see, that's wonderful. But with the big ones, like with all the big characters, I feel like they should just do a complete changeover. So just change the core over. They can keep all of the peripheral characters, your Shazam and all of that. Like Zachary Levi wasn't really involved that much with any of the DCU other than Shazam. It's not like Superman rolled in. Like, we never saw Henry Cavill on there.
Yeah, they actually couldn't get him to cameo. Remember at the end of the first movie, they had like a stand-in with no face. It was just some guy.
But that could be anyone. So they made it ambiguous, and whether that's on purpose or they just couldn't do it, it works. It works out for everyone right now. Yeah. So I would love for them to go through the whole changing of the guard.
That's what they call the diamond characters, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman. I really believe they should recast them, and they could probably keep Jason Momoa's Aquaman for all I care. But to be honest, I really hope he's going to play Lobo. We'll see.
I do too. That dude would be fantastic.
He would be. The next thing I want to talk about is something that I just started reading because of the book that this is going to be based off of. And let me tell you, the comic so far, I'm not even halfway through it, and it's pretty fantastic. I get why they chose this as their basis for this character. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow.
Oh, yes. This is going to be great.
Yes.
It sounds so sad.
It's not what I thought it was going to be when I started reading it. I'm like, oh, wow, this is like a traveling across the stars kind of thing. The first time you see Supergirl, she's in a bar getting drunk off-world. She's on this planet because she doesn't have the yellow sun to give her power, so she can actually get drunk. That's the first time you see her. Yeah, so this book is really fantastic. I'm excited for it. I wonder if they're going to bring back, after The Flash, they have a Supergirl in that movie. I wonder if they're going to take her and put her in this movie or just recast her as well. Either way, this is going to be very different from what... I think it's smart because when you think of this character, it's easy to kind of say, oh, she's Superman but a girl. She's not. Not at all. She's very jaded. She's very... Not even jaded. She's hardcore. She will not hesitate to hurt people. And I think that's something Superman's not really like at all. He holds back a lot because he's the nicer.
He's reluctant.
He's reluctant, whereas Supergirl's like, yeah, I'll beat you up. I don't give a shit. I'm really excited for that one. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, and
that's going to be a great watch.
The Waller series, which I think would be interesting.
That'll be fun. I like Viola Davis. I think she's my favorite Amanda Waller. Like to me, she's it. So I understand why they would be hesitant to recast her. Especially when they can have so much fun with the character they've already established. And she is hardcore. Like she's kind of a jerk.
Yeah,
you know?
She's very intimidating.
She is rough. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with that series.
You know, say what you will about them not recasting because of, it's not fair because you're getting rid of this person, but you're keeping this person. I am so happy they kept Viola Davis. She is such a magnificent actor. I really think just pushing her to the side to play Waller would be a huge mistake, and Gunn knows that.
Yes.
And I don't know if you've watched Peacemaker. Have you?
I haven't yet. It is on my list, but I'm still trying to get caught up with a ton of things.
No, I get
There's
it.
like a billion hours worth of content, and I've only got 2 eyeballs. 24 hours.
Say, I've only got 30 minutes a day.
Pretty much.
So Peacemaker was one of the best things that DC made before this changeover, which is, again, another reason why James Gunn was chosen to do this. Peacemaker was incredible. It had heart. It was funny. He took John Cena and made him into like a comedic action star in the best way possible by utilizing everything he's good at. So thumbs up for that. And then on top of that, I never... After watching The Suicide Squad, thought, oh, you know who have a good spinoff would be The Peacemaker? It's like, no, I don't want to see that. And
yeah.
I'm so glad he did it. He was like, I know this will be good. And he was right.
Mm-hmm.
And Viola Davis is, I'm not going to spoil anything for the TV show, but she has a very important role that actually will lead into the Waller TV series that they're making for HBO. So that's exciting. I'm trying to think of what else. Oh my God, the most important thing for me. So we're going to show the picture. Stop messing this up, Paul. What are you doing?
I like the moments where you start the self-talk. Like, come on, man. You can really just, come on. You can just come on, click.
What are you doing? Everybody's depending on you.
Everyone's laughing at me.
Everyone's laughing at me in the podcast. So, Batman Brave and the Bold.
Yes.
So this is either going to be called Batman Brave and the Bold or just Brave and the Bold. I think it's going to be called Batman Brave and the Bold. You got to keep the name in there or people are going to be like, well, I don't know what the hell that is. I don't know. Maybe he could go either way, but I feel like that would make more sense from a putting it out there kind of way. But I think this is brilliant because we are getting Damian Wayne. Because this is not only going to showcase him, but now we get the Bat family who's there too. So we're getting possibly Tim Drake. We're possibly getting Dick Grayson. We're possibly getting, hell, Jason Todd might have been a Robin by that. He had to have been by then. So
yeah,
this leads into that. And then you're also going to have Batgirl and all these other things. And this really excites me because I think the Bat family is such a great way to go with it being so different from the Robert Pattinson movies, which will be Elseworlds, as he said. I think this is great. I'm so excited for a new Batman series. It doesn't confuse me at all. It's a different Batman. It's a different world. Got it. Done. So Michael Keaton's not coming back. He'll be in The Flash, but they're going in a different direction because of James Gunn, of course. Flashpoint will reset everything. This won't be Ben Affleck either. So this is going to be a completely new Batman who's not as old as Ben Affleck, but not as young as Robert Pattinson. So somewhere in the middle there. I would think late 30s to mid 30s. I don't have any actors in mind. I mean, you could throw out anyone and they'd be great, but I'm really excited for Damian Wayne. I think it's going to be a great movie, and I want to see that dynamic between him and a Robin that kills people. I think that's great. And it's different from what we haven't had. I think it was Peter Safran. He said that we haven't had any of the Bat family on screen since the Batman Forever and Batman and Robin movies. So this will be great to get people into that world. And we don't have to go through the origin story again, and we don't have to worry about all that. This is a brand new...
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, this is a brand new Batman with his family. I'm very excited for that. Okay.
You know, when it comes to the casting of Batman, you just need to take the James Mangold approach. Just post the picture of Batman, nothing else. Just tag DC, post the picture, and let them know you called dibs. It worked once. Try it. Just try it.
That's a brilliant move.
There's gonna be about 1 billion pictures of Batman on Twitter now.
Probably.
And about 2 on Tumblr.
I'm okay with that. The Authority.
Oh,
now,
yes.
Have you read The Authority?
No, yes.
So think of them as the boys, the kind of world that they live in, the way they are, but not a comedic version, a more straightforward, we believe in doing the right thing, and the right thing is to kill our enemies. I have loved The Authority for so long, and the only thing that worries me about this is I don't know how they're going to go about it, and it could work. It really could. But it looks like they're setting them up to be the villains, to be against the, line of thinking of Superman, who's like, no, we can't kill people, and that's fine. But here's the thing. Apollo is Superman.
That's going to be wicked.
Midnighter is Batman. Different versions of them because they were made by Wildstorm before they came over to DC, and also they're gay lovers. But that has nothing to do with has nothing to do with anything else.
Redefining the Dark Knight.
Yeah. This was a long time ago too. This was early 2000s. This came out, so it was way ahead of its time. And it's a great comic. It's a great comic, but I don't know how it's going to feed into the bigger story because, to me, in my mind, the Authority has always been kind of like almost an alternate universe of the DC heroes. So we'll see what they do with it. I mean, they're definitely not the same characters, so they could actually go in a very interesting direction with that.
Everybody's going to get a chance to see me. Oh!
Yeah.
There's so much going on. I completely forgot. I am so excited about this one. This one's above Swamp Thing.
Yeah. True Detective vibed Green Lantern series with Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart teaming up to do a mystery in space. This is going to be so good. That's amazing.
Oh,
that's amazing.
I hope it's done justice. No pun intended. I hope it's fantastic.
I think it will be. I'm really excited for this one, and I don't know. I've been wanting a good Green Lantern, or Lanterns as this is, series forever. I mean, the last Green Lantern movie came out and disappointed me to no end, and disappointed Ryan Reynolds. Let's be honest.
I went back and watched it. It's honestly not as bad as I think the initial reaction. Seriously, like it really tried with the story. You can see that people tried to pull it together. It's just the execution came off floppy. Like it didn't coalesce together right.
There
were lessons learned. You don't CGI a suit poorly. Like you can do it like Iron Man does in some instances, like they do with the Hulk. But Marvel spent significantly more, like a larger amount on those elements than they did for Green Lantern. Yeah. That was rough.
No, I think it's just it needs a reboot, and it needs new blood, and I hope.
Yes.
I really, really don't think Ryan Reynolds was the right choice for Hal Jordan.
No.
He's perfect.
There were many characters that would have been he would have been better for.
It's funny looking back, and you're like, Bradley Cooper was the director's first choice. I probably would have gone with him more so. I mean, at least this iteration. There was a lot of things like that, though. But I'll say the good thing about this movie is that Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds met on set and are now married to this day and jibing each other online. So it's great.
And it's amazing. Their relationship is fantastic.
Yeah. I think we now have gone through everything. I apologize if I missed something. I'm I'm pretty sure we got everything, but out of everything you heard, you sound like you're really excited. Is there one that particular you are just like, this is the one I'm like really need to see kind of thing?
Booster Gold. I need to see it. It's now, as soon as it's slated to come out, it's going to be on my calendar, in my phone. I'm going to have an alarm set, like everything. I'm about it.
I have to say that movie has, or I don't remember if it's a series or movie. I believe it's just a movie, but that has so much potential. I'm really excited for that one.
Yes.
I would say mine would probably be, I mean, if I wasn't going for Superman or Brave and the Bold, which are the obvious choices, Swamp Thing or the Authority, the
Green
Authority.
Lantern.
Again, the Authority is
oh my god, dude, we are just kind of flopping back through the list because they all sound great in different ways. Like you want a nice horror movie, Swamp Thing. You want a comedy, Booster Gold. Like
this is only the stuff that they've released. They have other stuff coming. They just didn't want to release it all at once. Who knows what else we're getting? According to an article I read online, 2 TV shows a month and 2 movies every month. It was like an insane amount of DC
Holy
content
Lord.
that they want to. Yeah, and if you listened at the beginning,
I'm ready.
Yeah, if you listen to the beginning, he talks about Teen Titans Go. That's coming back. So that's there's a lot of cool stuff coming, and I'm a little overwhelmed in a good way. I'm whelmed. Everyone's overwhelmed or underwhelmed. Why isn't anyone whelmed, as Robin says? And that's another thing. Getting the younger Titans and the Young Justice type of characters into this universe through the Bat family. Imagine Tim Drake running Teen Titans, or they call them Young Justice, or whatever, in this universe. That would be amazing.
Oh, dude, they need to eventually take what they've done with Young Justice, and I would love to see that as a live action. It could be tailored, it could be toned down, it could be converted, however they need to. Dude, that show made me cry and laugh. Like, it had everything.
It's amazing. Fantastic. I'm watching it. I'm still in season 3 right now. It's phenomenal. But anyway,
it's wonderful.
We're gonna wrap it up now. Thank you so much, Dan, for letting me do this. I've been holding it in and just like, oh my god, I gotta talk to him about it.
You told me that we were gonna go over something, but I've been purposefully, actually no, I've been accidentally staying away from the internet. I can't even pretend that I've been doing it on purpose. I'm sorry. So I've been so busy that I don't have time to sit down and scroll through things or look at things or anything. Like everything's just so busy right now. And that's life. I mean, it just it happens. So I'm super, super happy that they are bringing all of this out and giving me those little islands of escape that film provides me so well. Like I need some good ones. I can't keep going back and watching, I don't know, Blade Trinity.
Why would you put yourself through that?
It was the first thing that popped into my mind. Actually, you know what? If I'm being real, it's Crocodile Dundee.
Well, I guess he's a superhero.
He's...
Can you imagine if he was on the DC?
He's got a knife.
We're gonna do.
Oh my god!
Crocodile Dundee
would be
reboot.
So good versus the crocodile.
Killer Croc versus Killer Croc.
Killer Croc. That's it.
Oh yeah.
That would be a short movie.
I got a knife.
He just hits him with his tail, and that's it. It's over. Credits. Before the impact, it's just like credits.
That's the Kraven the Hunter movie they got coming. So.
Oh, dude, that's gonna be sick. But that's a different franchise.
I really hope so. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Film Vets, or watching this episode if you're on the YouTube channel. Thank you, veterans, for your service and for joining us as well. And thanks, Dan, for letting me share the good news.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for sharing it. This is awesome. I cannot wait to emulate the Authority.
Oh, yeah. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Too intense.